everyone.
Looks like Panda is the first one in chat.
Panda, what's up?
Sandwiches here.
And 21 Sandwich. Now, we are competing with Eugene tonight, so...
Yeah, we always compete with Eugene on every other Monday, so
you know what? Feel bad. That Eugene.
Yeah, EC Myers, he attracts a pretty big crowd, so...
Here's Ted Brenneman, so he's in already as well, so we got a few people in here at least. I'm sure more will filter in or dual stream or do something as the night kind of carries on. So let's go ahead and catch up on what everybody's been doing. Mike, how you been?
I've been good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to make sure my monitor's set up and it's not doing all sorts of dumb shit.
Oh, hang on, I gotta put that little. I have a I started to put like just a little card or a piece of paper over my camera because of the.
Thumb, what's up?
Hey, Thumb, so that I could
what's up, Thumb?
Like block that glare coming off the top of the. Wait a minute, let's see here.
What are you doing?
My one-up card.
We're waiting to hear about your week.
There we go. Nope. Oh, hold on. I gotta get rid of. There we go.
Until we had the technical difficulties worked out, folks.
No, never. My week. Let's see. My week's been fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
No, week's been fine. It's been quiet. Little bit of Halo, a little bit of video games, monthly stuff. Folks, I implore you, never, ever, ever buy, play, rent 50-cent Bulletproof.
I don't even need you to tell me that to know that I don't think I'd ever want that game.
I
saw it when it came out and I kind of laughed and went,
Blood in the Sand. Blood in the Sand's actually a decent game. Bulletproof? No, it isn't. So, yeah, powered through that.
Sad to hear that, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised to hear that, honestly. I kind of expected that, quite frankly.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, there's the man of the hour. There's Zombie.
Yeah, actually, we have some... just real quick, just some shout outs in the community. I think everyone already knows this already, but Zombie recently completed I want to call it a no sleep run, but I bet he slept at some point. But he did a 24-hour fundraiser for Toys for Tots. He just wrapped it up this morning.
Over
Zombie, you did fall asleep
$1,000.
at some point, right? He's in the chat. Maybe he'll respond to that.
Yeah, he's like me. Usually when he's watching the stream, he's doing a couple of other things too. So it might take him a little bit to get back to us.
Yeah. So that and let's see, what else are we doing? Trying to finish up Squid Game.
I need to play more of that.
You don't want to play Squid Game.
It was okay.
That's not a game you'll likely to win. So
yeah, yeah.
Odds aren't good.
If you're not good at red light, green light, Nick, you might be
or Marbles.
No, it's a show. Yeah, or Oh my god,
dude, the Marble episode that wrecked me.
My god, that's the one we just watched.
Oh, Retro Gaming Store. How you doing, man? Good to see you,
dude. Ali, I was pissed.
I was too. I was like, no, I see what's happening, but no.
Hugo's in here now. Sweet. We got a bunch of people.
I was telling my son, like, I've totally missed what happened. Well, I didn't miss it, but I was like, my son's like, what's he doing? I'm like, well, he's making it so that he doesn't have one marble left. And when he went over and said, I've got all the, I was like, no. Then what's in the pouch?
Even though I saw it coming, even though I'm sorry to everyone in the chat who has no idea what we're talking about, but even though I saw it coming, I heard his little sack clinking and clangling. I thought, well, he's got marbles in there, so he should. I don't know what's happening, but maybe he's trying to bail him out somehow. But nope, that's not what happened. And honestly, that entire story, that entire episode, not just with Ali, but also with the North Korea girl,
who
was befriending the other girl. That part really got to me, and Then of course
And the old man. The old
So-
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I am as lost as everybody else on this.
Especially
right now.
since
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry.
I watched
know.
the first episode, which is red light, green light, and that's it. I watched it and went, huh, neat.
I honestly, I recommend checking it out.
yeah.
Squid
Neat
Game
wasn't my reaction.
Dude, I've watched so many shows where everybody's getting killed left and right. I'm like, if you're trying to make this like a thriller, like a Freddy or a Jason thing, you're gonna have to get a lot more creative than this. This is not
it's
fascinating.
No,
it's
there
not
was
a thriller. I don't even know how to
it's
describe it. It's like
there are other movies like it. I mean, this is a show, but there are other movies like it in Japan where you have things like that happen. One of which, and I can't remember the name of it.
Not that Squid Game.
What the heck was
cute panda, but I just got that.
it was yeah. I think there was one called there's one called King's Game where it was kind of like the same kind of thing. These kids are in school and they have to survive against these weirdo game kind of things. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, it's
What's up, John? Good to see you,
though.
man.
Give it a little more time, Nick, because it opens up.
Yeah,
well.
I like I said, I need to get back to it. I've just been like I started watching holiday movies and stuff like that. But before we get into all that, let's see how Rob's weekend went. How you doing?
Mine was. I think I actually wrapped up. Like when I started Squid Game, it was like over in 3 days. So my wife and I binged it. So I think that's part of what I've been doing since last episode. Trying to do more holiday movies. Have not done such a great job at that. Still got the stack of the usuals that I need to get through.
I got through a couple of them. I got through like some of my outliers. I still haven't watched Christmas Vacation, which is one I watch every year. I've watched Elf because a buddy of mine hadn't seen it. That was one of the first ones I watched this year. And as I get older, I think I'm appreciating that movie more. Just the goofy humor in it is just hitting me better. It wasn't my favorite when I first saw it. It was okay. Arthur Christmas, which is a newer one, which kind of became like a quick favorite. 8-Bit Christmas, saw that the other day with a wife. That's actually
how was that?
Yeah. I love that one.
How was that?
About that.
I really enjoyed it. I liked the message towards the end. I thought it was really well done. It's not been getting a lot of great ratings, but I like it.
Honestly,
Scrooged is another one I want to watch.
Scrooged is always a classic.
What's up, Sadweed? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Anything with I don't know why I'm drawing a blank at his name, but Doogie Howser. I love him, and he's hysterical. So pretty much anything with him, I'll watch. Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of like a more modernized version of Christmas Story with a little bit of Goonies. So, I mean, it's not like, they're hunting for they're kind of hunting for a treasure because they're trying to get a Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going through all these elaborate mechanisms to try to get their hands on one and stuff like that. But it's got a lot of Christmas Story tropes in it, too. So if you enjoyed Christmas Story at least a little bit, which I like that one passingly, it's not my favorite. This one resonated a lot better with me, probably because it just, I don't know, with it being a little more modernized, maybe that's why it stuck with me better. I don't know.
Actually, a new one that my wife and I just watched the other night on a recommendation, never had heard of it before, but was an old movie called The Shop Around the Corner. Have either of you heard of that?
I have not heard that one.
Okay. Well, basically it's You Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan is a remake of Little Shop Around the Corner. So it's basically the same story, and instead of Tom Hanks, it is the dude from It's a Wonderful Life. Who's that actor?
I'm drawing a total blank. I think I've seen the movie maybe once.
Harvey. Sure.
Yeah, hold on.
That actor, whatever his name is.
Oh, come on.
What's up, speaking? Good to see you, man.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you,
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart. Let the Jewish guy tell you who was in the Christmas movie.
Gary Cooper.
It might have been written by a Jewish
Well,
guy.
honestly,
You never know.
it was recommended to me by a Jewish guy, and he had this list of the greatest Christmas movies ever. So
I like Jingle All the Way. I know a lot of people.
Jingle All the
like
Way
that
was
one.
a good one. Come on, look.
Anyway,
If a Jewish guy
really,
could
really
write
good.
half, if a Jewish guy could write half of your Christmas tunes, then we know our movies too.
Yeah.
Hey, and I did this stream intending for everybody that has a major holiday season. As a matter of fact, I looked it up to make sure I wasn't missing one. Another one I think I was missing was Boxing Day, and I'm like, I'm not doing Boxing Day.
Yeah, Boxing Day, is that even really a Christmas? It's like the day after.
It's not really a Christmas thing. It's like when you return all the crap that you didn't want for Christmas. And I think it's only really called Boxing Day, I think, in Europe. I don't.
Oh, good. So you call it Boxing Day.
So in the spirit of all holidays, you guys have both added the Hebrew Hammer to your movie list, right?
I have no idea what that is. I haven't even watched 8 Crazy Nights, which I feel like
that's a good one too. That's a good one. All I can say is, if you want something that is completely different, just completely different, try the Hebrew Hammer. It is. It's got Adam Goldberg. Hey, Phoenix. It's got Adam Goldberg. It's got Andy Dick, Mario Van Peebles. It's hilarious.
Well, I like Adam Goldberg. I don't like Andy Dick. So, but
trust me,
Andy Dick is hit or miss for me. Sometimes he's on. A lot of times
mostly
he's
missed. For me.
Yeah, he's mostly missed, but there's a
2 gallons of eggnog. Oh my god!
Hold on, John promised us a stream.
And Sinbad was fantastic in Jingle All the Way.
Yes, he was.
He was great in that one. Okay, apparently Panda knows which one you're talking about. So what I've basically been doing is I've been wrapping up, recording on a video on a new
wrapping it a little holiday humor.
Yeah, a little bit, very little, minor, almost non-existent.
Check off.
Was really struggling to get the thumbnail done today, and I think I got something worked out. I showed it to Panda, and he's like, "No, do this and this, and I think you're good." I'm like, "Sweet." So I got that laid out. So that'll drop Wednesday because I've got the stream tonight, and I got a stream tomorrow night. And then today I'll drop that video. That may be the only one I get out this week. Lately, I've been having a hard time doing more than one video a week. I would like to do more. I'd like to do 2, like one, but some of these, like I wrote this one up, and it didn't take that long to write up. And then I was kind of working on recording it, and work's been kind of crazy because everybody's been pushing towards lockdown. So everybody's been like, "No, we have to do all the stuff," and I'm like, "Stop breaking everything. Just stop breaking all of it." But I did manage to get some solid amount of Halo in. I've been enjoying the Halo Infinite campaign quite a bit. It has been giving me a little bit of frustration with Game Pass because sometimes it'll say that I'm not logged in. Sometimes it won't log me in. Sometimes I'll be logged in and it thinks I don't own the game and I need to pay them for the game, but it's included with Game Pass. And
that is weird.
Like Microsoft's just been weird with Game Pass lately. I don't know if it's because they got an influx of people or what. Because it was pretty stable. Like every now and then it would act weird, but not that bad. Yeah, I need to do some of the multiplayer with you guys.
Yeah, you do.
I've mostly just been digging into the campaign, and honestly, and you guys know me in open world. I'm normally not a big open world player, and I'm having a blast with this one. It's been a lot of fun to go in. Basically, go in, like take this different control point or wipe this thing out and save this group and that kind of thing. And it's just a beautiful place to explore and be in. And thank you, Panda. I appreciate it, man. I've been trying to make sure I keep the quality of the videos up, and it may be that one a week video is the right thing to do. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But before we go too much further, I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to Zombie and everybody in the retro gaming community. Holy crap, you guys! He set a $300 goal, and you guys destroyed it. Like, it wasn't even there. He broke that in an hour. He broke 1K for Toys for Tots, guys.
Awesome.
1K!
Yeah, I didn't see what the total was this morning.
It's amazing. Last I looked, it was like $1,005 or something like that.
You and I were on there together last night. It was like at almost 700. So
Yeah, I was just like, I thought it was just outstanding how everybody came together and contributed to that. So everybody in this chat, everybody that went out there, that hung out, that supported, I know Zombie appreciates it. I was just in awe seeing you guys come together for that. That was amazing. You guys are rock stars. Every single one of you. That was fantastic. 1025. That's fantastic. Yeah, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Just blew the doors off that goal and just kept on trucking with it. That was phenomenal. So what we have this week for you guys is just kind of a laid back show. We're just going to talk about various different holidays memories, what the holidays mean for you, what you normally do around the holidays. Everybody's welcome to contribute stories and things like that. Type something up in chat. If it's too much, you can kind of send it to us on the side and stuff like that. And we kind of try to read it out for you, that kind of thing. But this is basically just kind of a chill out, hang out, enjoy this part of the year because we're winding down towards the end of the year. It's been another rough one for many, many people. A lot of people have lost loved ones this year. I had a friend lose his aunt suddenly in a heart attack today. I lost I lost my last cat not that long ago.
Yeah, sorry.
It's been a rough season for people. But you just got to kind of keep going. So this is to kind of like chill out, have some fun memories, have a few laughs, enjoy each other's company, and just hang for a couple hours. No big agenda. So that said, let's go ahead and just get started however you guys want. He's got his Genesis on Christmas and his PS1 later on. Nice.
Yeah, my Genesis was a Christmas gift also.
I don't know that I ever got one as a Christmas gift. I might have gotten a Super Nintendo as a Christmas gift.
I had one of those childhoods where my parents were divorced, and I think my parents were competing with each other to give me a better Christmas. So they're bad on that. That was probably a little bit toxic on their part. I benefited from it, so I didn't really have any complaints. So I got a ton of video games. That's Daniel. My mom gave me just a crap ton of like Game Boy games. That was the main system I was into at the time. And then my dad gave me a Sega Genesis. So I was like just inundated with video games to play one year. And that was the year I got my Genesis. Oddly enough, I don't really associate the Genesis or Sonic the Hedgehog, the pack-in game, with Christmas, unlike all the other games that I got that year. But
yeah, I'm doing good, Daniel. It's good to see you in chat, man. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I have a lot of weird, random stories because my mom was interesting around Christmas with the way she packaged things. Because the first thing you have to know about my mom was always big on tricking us because I was a box shaker. So I would always pick up the boxes and try to figure out what they were by shaking them. My brother got really good at using a pocket knife to unwrap gifts and then put them back and retape them. So she had really clever ways to do it. So we started running Shire and Shire on Legos because they would end up in Christmas gifts. So they would all rattle regardless of what was going on. That was her trick for me. I think she just got pissed at my brother because once she realized he was opening the gifts, she was just kind of annoyed because she didn't know how to counter that one.
I never tried to unwrap any gifts, but I was really good. I would just tear just a little tiny corner, just a little bit, just so I could see, because my mom never actually boxed anything. It was just like whatever she got from the store, wrapped it underneath the tree. So I had plenty of time to just kind of expose just a little bit of the packaging. There's a Ninja Turtle there. All right, cool. There's Shredder. So I know I'm getting the entire TMNT toy line up this year. So, but I never really had to get too sneaky with it. And plus, my mom would buy all year long. So around summertime, she would start buying Christmas gifts, and she'd keep them in the attic. And nice. I would find them every year, so I would know exactly what I was getting before I actually opened anything up on Christmas morning. And I remember there was one year, right? It was the TMNT year where she had literally bought anything I wanted. She would usually buy me everything of it. So I had all the He-Man figures one year, and so for this one year, it was like every available Ninja Turtles figure, and she had them in 2 boxes. And so I found both boxes, so I knew what all the figures were. But then when I opened up the presents, she had forgot to put the other box underneath the tree. So I was like, I gotta actually play this off, but I know I'm missing some figures here. I was really looking forward to getting, Baxter Stockman, and I'll just have to like just pretend like, yay, look at all these figures I'm playing with, and let her notice on her own that I'm not playing with all the figures that she bought. And I had to sweat that out for a little bit until she realized that she had forgot a box and brought the other ones down. But that was a tough one.
That's funny.
Well, see, because we had it was different for us because we, of course, did not have a tree, stuff. There were no gifts underneath. So my parents got creative when they gave us gifts. My dad would wait until we were like downstairs, and he'd sneak upstairs and he'd put all of our gifts in our room. So then like the next year for Hanukkah, we'd go upstairs thinking, we'll figure out who's leaving us these gifts. And then we'll wake up the next morning, go downstairs, they'll be on the table, it's like you could never figure out where it was coming from. And I'm going to tell something that's extremely embarrassing.
Please do.
It's actually really,
by all means, please do.
It's really sad. So
even better.
This is gonna be rough. So you have to understand that when you are Jewish and you do not live in a predominantly Jewish area with everyone else being Jewish, so you're not in a city suburb of New York or out here in Maryland, you're not in Pikesville or Owings Mills. You are inundated with Santa Claus, and everything was Santa. They came to school, you saw them at the mall, and so because we didn't have a character to deliver us presents, my father made one up.
You didn't have Hanukkah Harry?
No,
Okay.
We did not.
That's right. Minch on a bench wasn't a thing back then either.
It was not. Well, yeah, that was the elf on the shelf
for
thing.
For Hanukkah,
yes. Yes, we have a mensch on the bench. Amazing says we're listening. Mike is going to be on YouTube forever. So my mother and father made up a character called, I swear to God.
Oh my God. Nice, Dizzy.
Oh
God, we got so many good scores going on in the chat. I'm trying to keep up.
Oh my goodness. So the character was called Captain Hanukkah. And you go ahead, Rob. I see you want to laugh. I laugh at it now. But you know what? Back then, it's what we had. And I will never forget this. We had some friends. That were that they lived close by, and one year, I kid you not, I think we still have pictures of it somewhere in an album if I go see my mother's house. One of our friends dressed up in blue and silver tights, had a shirt with a Jewish star on it, had a cape, the whole thing.
Please tell me there was a menorah grappling hook.
There was not.
Please.
But, that would have been perfect. And I swear he had a mask. He got himself a mask. And I mean, look, when you're 7, 8 years old, this is like the greatest thing ever because, again, everything around us was Santa. It's exactly it. It was exactly it, Zavi. And back then, from back then it was what we had, and it was great.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten a lot of Jewish friends that do Christmas and they do Hanukkah. Hanukkah's a bigger thing around this time of year for them because they're both in their own way kind of expensive holidays, right? If you're buying gifts for people. Hanukkah, they're smaller gifts, but you're doing it over like 8 nights. I think is it 7 or 8 nights?
8.
8.
8.
So it adds up quick.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, it's Santa really is not, and Christmas itself. And I know I'm going to get like people bashing on me for it. It's not really a Christian holiday. It's more of like a winter
well,
solstice kind of holiday thing.
right.
So it's
What it is.
I look at it as non-denomination, even though it's more identified with Christian faith.
It's commercialized is what it is. And that's what has drawn it away from being more of a Christian thing. We won't there families that are, we have a lot of them in our community. We've got about 100 families here where I live. So our temple is really small, but a lot of the families that come to our synagogue are interfaith. So either the wife is Jewish and the husband isn't, or the husband's Jewish and the wife isn't. And one of my very good friends, he's Catholic. His wife is Jewish. They do both, and their kids love to do both. We are a strictly Hanukkah household here. We decorate. We have inflatables, that we put out in the yard that are Hanukkah related. We've got light up dreidels that we put in the windows. I mean, we have decorations and things. They're just not that. We don't have a tree. We do 8 nights of gifts, and they're like a small thing.
Yeah.
Except one of those was, the Mario Kart live circuit thing that the kids love. But
that's kind of more than a little small. Those things are kind of expensive, but they're awesome. Don't get me wrong.
So on my next Video Games Monthly video, which is still rendering, I've got a little bit on that Seth did. So,
oh God, so, I love it when Resin's in chat.
Yeah, I know. So, I can't remember anything game related.
Hey Peter, how are you doing, man? Good to see you.
Hi, Peter.
I'm gonna have to rely on Mazen to translate for that. I'm still absolutely abysmal at Spanish.
I've got hello.
Yeah, that's about a hello and greetings, I think, and that's about as far as I got. And I got buenas noches. That's basically like another form of hello. Like, really good to see you. Translation, subscribe to Panda Sub 2000.
Hello, greetings.
I'm pretty sure that's not how that meant.
All right, hello.
But yeah, no, I get in your house doing straight like Hanukkah because, and I get that for families that are more religious and rather do Hanukkah than Christmas because it's a lot of work, man. Like both holidays, like if you're going to decorate, it's a solid amount of work to decorate for both, and it's a money and time investment, right?
Well,
so I mean, you generally pick one or the other, and you might do something small for people that celebrate another. Right, like a small exchange or something, because that's what we do. I have friends who are Jewish, and they do their Jewish holiday, and then we exchange just Christmas gifts, but they don't decorate for Christmas. We just exchange something small so we can get them something in the season, right?
And my wife's, because my wife converted, so her family, is all Christian, they all celebrate Christmas. We would go over and
hi, Lady Foxfire, by the way.
My mother-in-law. Hey, Games. Excuse me. My mother-in-law, it's not COVID, I promise. My mother-in-law, sorry. My mother-in-law I would let her put up a stocking for the kids, that kind of thing. As long as she gave Hanukkah gifts, that was fine with me. But here, and the thing is that what we try to do with our family is there's a story behind Hanukkah. There's a story behind a lot of it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for the menorah. There's a reason it's 8 nights. There's pieces behind it, and we teach that to our kids. To everybody else, the dreidel is just a gambling game. We teach our kids how to gamble at an early age, but there really does have meaning to it. But
it is a gambling game.
Oh, it almost definitely is.
It's very much a gambling game.
It teaches you. It teaches our kids how to gamble, just like Passover teaches them how to drink. It's it's
it's a Hanukkah
shill.
Make a tumbler.
So we do. We celebrate it for what it is. The gifts are the commercialized part of it. because we get them gifts that are, that are more than just, guilt and things like that. But we really do concentrate on what the holiday means and why it's there.
Yeah,
So.
a lot of the holiday for me, at least as I got older on it, until I started losing like a lot of like my grandparents and stuff, was hanging out with them and getting other people gifts. It was always nice to get stuff, but I actually enjoyed like trying to find something that somebody would like, and then seeing them open it and have a good time and appreciate that, some thought went into it, and just hanging out and having a good time. And that's still mostly what it's about, even though my circle's kind of gotten smaller over the years as everybody's kind of had their own families and they go and do their own family events and stuff like that. And it's not as big of a fair, and I'm like 1,500 miles away from most of my family. So, it's usually like it's usually like my normal small group hanging out with each other over the holidays, which is fine. That's totally fine with us.
And I was just typing that, and John, if you can do that, then it becomes completely meaningful, and that's, you're doing it right.
Plus, Panda, you get all the jokes, so win-win.
And yeah, I mean, realistically, for me, the holidays are just
that's great,
time
Zombie. That's awesome, Zombie.
Just kind of like, I don't know, be a little bit nicer, be a little bit more giving, try to be a little bit more understanding. Spend some time to relax and decompress, because you've made it through another year. You deserve some downtime around that time. So I always try to save some vacation time for right around this time of year. That way I can take it off and I can kind of clear my head, and then I can walk into the next year. That's kind of how I viewed it. And being able to do stuff like being able to help Zombie out with his stream and give a little bit to a couple other things and stuff like that is something that, now that I have the means to do it, I enjoy doing it. Not because I want a pat on the back or anything, but just because it feels like the right thing to do, and helps other people out during the holiday. So
because you're a good person. That's
I try to be. I didn't always work out that way, but I try to be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, going back to the holidays, another story going in line with you guys is like, and this all goes back to my mom. My mom's very creative around Christmas. So I got this small box one year, and I opened it up, and I'm digging around, and I'm like, and I pull out this nasty rusted chain, and I'm like, thanks, Mom. I love it. Thanks. And I kind of put it down. I'm trying to be nice. And she's like, is there nothing else in there? I go, no, Mom, it's just a chain. So she starts digging through it, and it takes her like 5 minutes to find this slip of paper where they had like built a weight bench downstairs, but she wrapped up a chain because she wanted something under the tree. I don't know. I found that one funny personally.
Yeah.
I was like hysterical just looking at her face.
That was funny. So
that's one of the good things about having kids, is that I have a very, I'm going to put it very nicely, I have a very mischievous sense of humor. And so one of the best things about having kids is that you have an outlet for all your nonsense and all your shenanigans. What are they going to do? Move out? So
yeah, you get to be terrible to your kids and have to suck it up.
One year I kind of set up like this scavenger hunt where I put a literal garbage in boxes with a note saying, "Oh no, your present's in another box," of this, with another clue leading to another part of the house, which led to another box filled with literal garbage, with another clue that led to another part of the house. And I sent both my oldest kids on like a scavenger hunt around the house, collecting garbage essentially, until they actually got to the final clue that led them to their real Christmas present. And that was a lot of fun setting up. It was a lot of work also. I'm more lazy than I'm mischievous, so that was just a 1 year thing. But I really enjoyed doing that 1 year, especially seeing their faces. It wasn't joy that I was seeing, which was I appreciate it. So
see, I see you being the kind of parent that says your Christmas is hidden somewhere in your room. Clean it to find them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, I like what Zombie said, teaching his son, what he's been sharing in streams, going back to basics, embracing the nature of the holidays. I mean, that's what it's all about. And the last piece I'll say about the Hanukkah part is one of the joys that I get is not necessarily just watching my kids open their presents. That's always fun. But, every light we light the menorah. And what we did this year is we had 2 of them. And it was supposed to be one for my wife and I and one for the kids, and they would rotate lighting each night.
Okay.
Oh, we just got to a point to where I'm like, I just backed up, and I just, because I've got my 17-year-old Seth, who's 12, and Spencer, who's 7.
Hey, Charlie, good to see you.
They fought each other to who could light the menorah. So I was just like,
hopefully
all right,
not with a lighter lit.
No. So my wife and I just stepped back and let them each rotate lighting them both, and to watch them. And that gives me joy because they know why they're lighting it. They know why there's 8 candles at the end, and they know the prayers. You have to say prayers when you light the menorah. They know them. They know them by heart. They know what they mean. And then we sit them in the window, and then they go outside. Okay. They go outside, and they look at it from outside, and they look at them through the window because that's what you're supposed to put them in a window so people passing by can see. It's it's that to me means more than anything. That they can do that, and they know that. And my 7-year-old can say these Hebrew blessings, in Hebrew. He knows them all. And that's what it shows that they know what it's about.
And the fact that they're into it and actively learning it and having a good time with it also helps, I would imagine.
Yeah. And then
because a lot of kids don't have any attention span, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Like everything's kind of new and everything's here and then gone the next, and it's hard to get them to focus a lot of times. There's just a lot going on.
There is. And there is an issue going on around, at least around here, around the country, and it's not just Judaism, it is all religions. People are pulling away from religion as a whole.
It's active war on religion right now.
And to a large extent, there's a lot of people that are not participating. And we see it, we had the same problem. And so a lot of what people are seeing in the commercialism is really what people think of it. So,
well, that's just it. I mean, it doesn't have to be religious for it to be a meaningful time. And I don't have anything against people having against any religion or denomination or anything like that. People are going to believe what they're going to believe. As long as you're not hurting anybody else,
right?
Then I don't see any problem with any of it. Just kind of go on doing you. And that's how I feel kind of about everything. If you want to do whatever you want to do, so long as you're not actively hurting people doing it, as long as it's not causing like actual harm to people, then I don't really see a big deal, right? For me, Christmas has always been about friends and family, not so much religion. It was spending time with my grandmother and seeing my aunts and my nephews and nieces and, cousins and stuff like that. People that I didn't see that often. And it was nice to be able to like reminisce and catch up with them and kind of see how they're doing. Was there a lot of stress and work involved in it for like my parents and stuff? A lot for me now? Yeah, but it's more that I feel like, at least for me, right? Mm-hmm. And even when I was younger, I was almost more excited to see my grandparents and my aunt and my cousins than I was to get anything, because we always got together on Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house. I was almost more excited just to see everybody and hang out than I was to get anything that day.
And that's part of it.
It was just
a nice
time.
Part of it. And that's part of it. Another part of it is, and Bourne, I'm going to bring up Cousin Bourne's comment. Kids kids are a big factor. Kids are a
Mhm.
big help. In that, if you don't have kids, I totally understand what he's saying. When I was out on my own and single, younger, yeah, I didn't, I was too old for the Captain Hanukkah stuff. I was, but I didn't have a family yet. I was still a young guy going through college, stuff like that. Yeah, you kind of lose that. Kids tend to bring it back out of you.
Yeah, and we struggle with it some years too because there's a lot of baggage that comes along around the holidays as you get older. Kids are a nice outlet to kind of allow you to kind of forget about that and see kind of some of the wonder on it again. Um, I was pretty much adamant on doing Christmas this year as much as we could, mostly because I felt like we needed some sort of like, I don't know, whimsy this year because it had been such a just nasty year. Um, and we almost didn't put up the tree, and I finally just said, you know what? No, I'm putting the tree up. I'm like, we need this year. This has been a bad year all around.
Mhm.
We need this. We need
Good for
something
you.
we can look at and smile at. And her family was always really kind of like, well, I do this and you need to do this, and it's kind of an isolating thing. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Not doing that. That's never how I've done it. Why don't you do it how I do it, and we'll do this together, because that's how it's supposed to be done. That's how I was raised to do it. Me and my mom always put up the tree. We always hung the ornaments. We always did the decorating around the house. My brother and my dad weren't really into it, so I was always there with mom helping out with that. And it's not near. It's a lot more fun of an experience when it's shared. It seems like work, but when you're doing it with somebody else and you're humming along to like either Christmas music or you got a movie on in the background, it becomes like a nice part of the holidays, and it's not work anymore. And and if you have somebody you can do that with and you've kind of been out of it and you don't do it that way, I recommend trying it that way. It really does put more meaning into it, and it really does put a lot more fun into it. Hi, Scrambles, by the way.
So scrambles. Well, let's talk about memories, though. Not how shitty the year's been.
Yeah.
The next like 40 minutes.
I've been trying to throw good memories in there too.
I actually like brought stuff to talk about because I
Oh,
Fantastic.
thank
Awesome.
goodness.
so like obviously most of
Yeah,
my
I brought the room down
Christmas
a million
memories
times.
are going to be like video game related. So this is oh, there we go. This is a game that I actually like associated. I don't think I actually got it for Christmas, but this is a game I associate with Christmas. And this, by the way, is my original childhood copy of Mario 2. And for some reason, I associate it with Christmas because Christmas was always a time when all the boring relatives came in and stayed with us. So I would just go hide out in my room. And I think it was on a Christmas day that I actually played through the game completely from beginning to end for the first time. So it kind of became a weird tradition to play through Mario 2 every year. And to this day, I do play through Mario 2 every year around Christmas time, usually Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And I kind of alternate back and forth whether it's this copy or the Mario All-Stars one. But it's just I don't know, to me Mario 2 is like synonymous with Christmas, even though it's not a Christmas game per se, outside of the snow level, obviously.
It is to me too, but for totally different reasons. Because
What's yours?
that was the game right around the chip shortage that everybody was like half killing each other to get their hands on.
Was it a holiday game?
Yeah,
I don't know. I may have actually gotten it for
I
Christmas.
think it came out right around
birthday.
the holidays, right in the middle of a chip shortage that Nintendo was dealing with that year. And so that, and I want to say there was like one other game that came out that year too. Did Link's Adventure come out that year as well?
I don't know.
I can't remember. There was like one other game that came out too, and both of them were like super scarce. I mean, it was sort of like the no, you know what? It might have been Cabbage Patch Kid dolls that year too, because that was the other like big gift that year. There were two big gifts that people were like just going crazy for that year, and I think that was one of them.
Well, look, if Die Hard could be a Christmas movie,
It is a
Super
Christmas
Mario
movie.
2 could be a Christmas game.
Yeah, why not?
like even the director said Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I know.
I say Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's
Nobody
literal
agree- have-
Christmas.
have
all the way
people
through
agree with me,
the
have people
music
don't.
is Christmas music. Of course, it's a Christmas movie.
Hey, Josh. I mean, he says ho ho ho.
Yep, I have
There's a
this.
tree.
right.
So it's
Right.
Christmas.
Now I have a
is like
shotgun. Ho ho ho.
blew
That's
up in
right.
his face. It's a Christmas movie, and so is kind of Lethal Weapon a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it happens right around the holidays.
kind of
so, yeah.
Like at the very end.
Kinda.
At the very
Kinda.
end, the police car does crash through the Christmas tree. It's kind of said in the it's very thin. It's very thin.
But it's
I mean, the
I don't
opening,
know.
yeah, that it is very thin. I will I will admit that. The opening in the opening credits, it's Jingle Bell Rock. So I don't know. There's arguments for it.
I don't know.
Well, Stampede.
Which one are we talking about, Stampede? Because we've
Yeah,
got Lethal
we're talking about
Weapon
Lethal
and Die
Weapon
Hard.
now. So.
We all kind of agree on Die Hard.
Yeah.
Lethal
You think
Weapon
that
is
Die
up for
Hard is a
debate
Christmas
right
movie.
now. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, you could sort of argue that Gremlins is a Christmas movie. They
It
sing
is.
carols.
Oh, Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas
I mean,
movie.
he got that as a Christmas gift.
It
He got-
Christmas all over that movie.
Yes, that's
Gizmo's got a
Yeah.
Christmas hat. Gremlins swinging on
Yeah.
the Christmas lights.
yeah. No. Gremlins is definitely.
They even sung carols at one point
Yeah.
when they were trying to kill.
Yeah, they
the-
did sing, and I
They did.
and I have the Necco Christmas.
I've got all
Gremlins.
4 of those. I love those.
You got 4 of them.
Yeah. They come in 2 packages and they have different accessories. So there's actually 4 of them total.
I just had the 2. Well, you probably don't know what 2 I'm talking about.
Oh
since there's 4
my
of them, but-
gosh! I found it.
Lethal and Batman Returns. I
Oh,
don't
you
know about
got a
Batman.
picture
Ah,
Ah,
Batman.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go with Lethal
Returns.
Weapon, you gotta add in Batman Returns.
No,
Batman
see,
Returns is
I don't
also
think-
a very Christmas.
I think Batman
Christmas
Returns is
all
just more of a
over it.
winterized movie.
But
Zombie, I
Christmas is all
found it.
over it.
Hold on, Zombie, I found it. Holy crap!
You
Let me
know,
put this in-
Warren, I don't know that I ever actually did that. I think I did it the hard way because I didn't know you could parry him there. I saw that happen later, so that's a much faster way of dealing with him. So I did learn that later, but I don't think I learned it when I was fighting him. I did it the hard way.
This is the movie that Zombie was talking about earlier, called Hanukkah.
Freaka 4, I think, was one that was kind of recommending that. I asked him where I could watch it. I think it's on. Batman Returns is totally a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and
think.
he even says "Merry Christmas" to Alfred in it. So I mean, that,
Oh,
the
come
last
on.
line in the movie is "Merry Christmas to all," and no, wait, it's some kind of Christmas line that he twisted also to include and women because he's holding the cat.
see.
It's Christmas.
It's
We can make anything Christmas.
Lord, you gotta show this thing. This
Yeah,
is
I'm actually. About
this is
to
the
share my
funniest thing
screen.
I think I might have. This might have the Haber Hammer beat.
This looks almost like a horror movie. What the heck
It is. That's what Zombie said it was. The catchphrase is hilarious. From dreidel to the grave.
Wow.
I am gonna have to watch this.
Why is he not stabbing people with a menorah? I feel like the menorah needs to be used in a whole Nicka movies as a weapon somehow.
Hold on. Obadiah Lazarus is the son of Judah Lazarus, the original Hanukkah killer. In 1983, Judah terrorized New York for 7 nights and was preparing to sacrifice his 8-year-old son, Obadiah, on the 8th night. Judah was convinced it was God's will, like Abraham and Isaac, to sacrifice his only son to God. Luckily for Obadiah, police tracked Judah down and stopped the sacrifice, but Judah was gunned down in the process. Warped by hatred with no guidance, Obadiah Lazarus becomes a religious extremist, intolerant of non-Jews, and those he perceives to be enemies of the Jewish faith. Oh, here we go. He is about to unleash 8 nights of horror. A group of Jewish teens are getting ready to party for the holidays, but they're in for a festival of frights.
It's got a better premise than half the horror movies.
God,
What's up,
Oh
Classy? How
my
you doing, man? Good to see you.
this is hilarious. With the
Wow.
help of a wise rabbi, they deduced that the murder victims have violated Judaic law, and their only chance of survival is to embrace their faith. Oh my Lord, that's
messed up. It's
you
got
know
a good
that
runtime. It's 97 minutes, so it's just
got,
under an hour 40. That's a really good runtime for a movie
This
like
is
that.
something that I would love to see if Riff Tracks did a thing on it.
Oh God, please tell me they did. That would be dope.
Oh, I'm looking that up.
If not, they need to come back and do that one.
Yes.
That would be crazy.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Michelle Pfeiffer was amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
She was about the only thing that salvaged parts of that movie for me because I did not like how they portrayed the penguin. That wasn't on Danny DeVito's fault. That's how he was
an
told
odd
to
take
do
on
it.
Penguin.
But I did not care for that portrayal of Penguin.
I mean, it wasn't as good as honestly. I think.
What's up, Mr. Ray? We get to see it, man.
Gotham, I did. Gotham, I did like how they portrayed Penguin, but I didn't.
I like that portrayal. I haven't gotten too deep in that one. I think I'm in like season 2, maybe season 3 on that one. I put it down for a while.
I didn't care if we got. I really liked their take on like Edward Nygma. I thought that was.
Yeah, I thought that was a good twist
how
too.
they did Edward Nygma.
Yeah, the Penguin bother. I didn't like that actor. I didn't like the way he was doing it. I thought everything was wrong. Honestly, the best. We all know that the best portrayal of the Penguin is from the animated series. Well, I guess you could also say that the Burgess Meredith one, but Danny DeVito was good. I thought he was good in that. It was just a weird monster take on the Penguin.
I think that was my big problem with it. It just didn't fit with any portrayal of the Penguin character that I've seen.
They could have done it different. I don't know. Like I appreciate because after Batman Returns, every villain turned into the Joker, and it's like. So I appreciate that the Penguin was the one Batman villain in that quadrilogy of movies that wasn't just another.
See, I sort of contend that Christopher Walken wasn't really acting in Batman Returns. He was just being Walken.
No, he was just being Walken.
Like he was just being him, which is enough, quite frankly. I don't remember him killing anybody in Batman Returns.
There was like this time bomb Harley Quinn demon, I think, or no, it was a big fat guy, and he strapped the bomb to his stomach and pushed him down a subway or a sewer grate and blew it behind him.
So you have minor plausible deniability on that one, but
well, he clearly killed a bunch of people in the first one. Also, he lit
one on fire with the Batmobile.
Well, most of Batman's,
the Harley Quinn demon was the one he lit on fire and then blew up the fat guy.
Yeah. I mean, if you were actually analyze Batman's fighting style, like realistically, like watch it for what it is, he's killing like half the people he's trying to stop. He's not using a gun, but he's still killing.
He's not stunning them. He's killing them. But yeah, he killed the I think in the entire climb up the cathedral in the original Bat, I think he killed every single person on the way up, including the big giant muscle guy that he smashed his head on the bell and he fell down the tower.
Oh
including the Joker. So
he killed all of that. He killed Penguin. Remember they?
That's I thought the Penguin, and we're getting really in the geeky weeds here. That's fine.
We kind of are. I'm okay with that.
The Penguin just kind of fell through the skylight. I don't think Batman really was as directly involved, other than he triggered the Penguins to like blow up all the zoo elements around him. Then the Penguin just freaked out and fell down the skylight. But whereas like the Joker, he actually tied the gargoyle to his foot, and that's what made him fall off the helicopter to his death. So it's like the Penguin was like, I feel like that's kind of some deniability.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, obviously, Batman's. I mean, come on, his body count speaks for itself.
Yeah, quite high.
Because didn't he also? No, she killed. Never mind. Catwoman killed Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the
taser thing.
With the taser and kissing him, right?
Yeah. That was you thought she was dead, and then they kind of show her thing.
Right. They didn't show that she's not right.
Yeah. We kind of went into the weeds on this one.
Well,
I just remember that it was the two Tim Burton Batman movies, and then the animated series, and then there was the animated series
Bad
movie.
you say.
There's and in the animated
The
series
Batusi.
movie, Commissioner Gordon was like, "A Batman doesn't kill, so this killer has got to be someone else." And I was like, "Since when does Batman not kill? He's killed everyone in the other movies." So that was the first I've heard of this code that Batman has that he doesn't kill. I never really read the comics.
I was about to say that was kind of like all over the comics and the cartoons and stuff that he doesn't kill. I mean, the level of force used is sometimes high, and given Batman's training, yeah, they're probably they're not walking again. Most of them.
And even though they have that Batman doesn't kill in like the Christopher Nolan movies, he sure kills a lot of people indirectly. All like he like this was pointed out to me recently. I think I was watching the movie pitch guy, but he pointed out that Batman or Bruce Wayne blew up that entire ninja dojo because he didn't want to execute that one guy, and he killed everyone else in it. Other than
oh right, Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, other than Ra's al Ghul, that's the one he didn't kill that entire time. And he probably actually accidentally killed the guy he didn't want to execute. Also,
they had a whole tangent where he lost Robin, and he kind of went off the deep end, and he got it really brutal in the comics for a while. Yeah. So there was a stint in the comics where, like, they wanted to make a point that Batman needs a Robin, like he needs somebody to like tone him down, otherwise he just like loses it.
Yeah, technically,
Mr. Always actually like a Batman aficionado here. Batman killed his first major villain when he punched Alfred Stryker off a bridge into a tank of acid, fitting into his kind. Interesting.
I mean, technically, he kills Ra's al Ghul too.
Okay.
The thing I don't have to say when he was the one that actually like set that entire train to crash. that's.
And then said, "I'm not going to kill you." And then, I mean, he literally said,
"There was nobody else in there except for Ra's, and everybody else had been evacuated from that."
Right, and he said, "I mean, he literally said to him, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you." And he rolls out of the train and lets Ra's. So yeah, he kills Ra's al Ghul. He very much
that wouldn't stand up in a court of law for sure.
You know what? On this one, I'm gonna go with Spider-Man. And it's close between Spider-Man and Batman. X-Men have some cool villains, but they're all like freaking like apocalypse and craziness that aren't as fun or relatable as, like, say, Spider-Man and Batman's Rogue Gallery. I think Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery is more diverse and better than Batman's.
I would say
it's really close. Batman's
I'd say they're close.
Great Rogues Gallery stuff.
Spider-Man's got some great villains. I don't know. I might have to go with Batman for the different. They had such diverse villains too. I mean, you had. I'm trying to think what female villain Spider-Man had.
Yeah, too, Mr. Rowe. I haven't followed the comics in years, but when I followed it, he had a crazy. And you're right, Batman had an amazing rogues gallery. There's a lot of diversity there. They overuse some of them. Like the Joker gets overused a lot. Edward Nygma gets played down a lot, and I think he's probably more interesting than a lot of people portray him as.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's not that dangerous. I think is why he is downplayed.
A little bit, but I mean, Penguins realistically wasn't designed to be that dangerous, and they make him out to be more dangerous.
Yeah.
Than Nygma.
But the thing about the Joker and why he gets played so much is he is to Batman what Lex Luthor is to Superman. You have to have a nemesis that you don't just that has to. He was the only one that really challenged him in both strength and spirit, or strength and mind. I mean, there's things that the Joker could do that none of the other villains could really do. they all shoehorned into, the Riddler had a gimmick that he didn't stray from. Penguin, same thing. Bane, same thing. But the Joker could pretty much do everything except for what Bane could do. I mean, he was as cunning as every one of the other.
Oh no, he was. How he competed with Batman is he challenged him intellectually, not physically.
Yeah, no, he had. Well, I guess he had,
fight, but intellectually,
no,
yeah.
Right. Although
I'm kind of curious. Mr. Rowe's got an interesting point here, and I'm trying to think of how the Joker's the hero.
Let's hear your
I need more elaboration on this.
Yeah, I'm going to need
Mr.
a couple
Railway,
more. I'm going to need a few more words.
Because I'm stumped on this one on how on the rationale on this because
the
Joker's kind of just an anarchist in my mind. He actually really likes Batman. He just wants to see Batman go a little too far and watch everything burn because he went too far. That's how I've always kind of perceived him, right? He has a laugh at messing with Batman because he thinks his code is a farce, and he wants to break it apart because he thinks it'd be funny. That's how I've always kind of seen it. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong because I think it would make for an really interesting conversation.
Yeah, I think that I've obviously read more comic books now since I was a kid. I think that probably the best storyline that has kind of established what Joker and Batman's relationship was the Killing Joke comic, where they kind of explored the fact that they were literally they could not quit each other, and they kind of admitted to each other they need the other person to kind of balance them out. Like Batman is literally fighting for order while Joker is literally fighting for anarchy. And I think that's
okay. And I can see Mr. Rutway's point, and this kind of plays into your point too. So take a moment and read that, because that's kind of what he's doing in Dark Knight Rises. Second movie with Christopher.
It's Dark Knight.
That's Dark Knight.
Okay, Dark Knight. Because he's basically talking about, because he alludes to that too. Heath Ledger's portrayal alludes to that. That, people are just kind of base crazy animals, and you see what happens when you put the pressure on, when you put them in a life or death situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At best, I would classify him as an anti-hero. He would be closer to like Venom or something like that. Because, I guess, kind of.
Oh, he totally believed in what he was doing, too.
Well, he just likes to burn things. Let's be honest. Yeah, there's a lot of different origins of Joker. There's almost too many different origins of Joker.
And there honestly should, and I'd rather have too many than just one, because I like that it does. Because the Joker shouldn't really be explained. I don't think that the Joker needs an origin story. So it's nice that they keep on mixing it up, where it could always be in his head, or it's a lie. Or he remembers it one way, but then some days it's another way.
Yeah.
So I like that there's no concrete set in stone origin for the Joker. They don't even really have his real name. I think that's where the first Batman movie kind of went a little wrong, maybe.
I think one of the best theories I saw is that Batman isn't like Batman. It's just Bruce Wayne having lost his mind, and he's in a mental institution. And he's associating this personality in his head to kind of cope. And all the different people that are in the mental institution are different portrayals of different facets of what's going on while he's in the mental institution.
Yeah,
I saw that somewhere one time, and I'm like, that's kind of I kind of wish somebody would run with that as a what if thing, because that would be kind of amazing to pull that towards the end. It would freak people out.
Yeah.
And Mr. Artway gets out just as I said it. That's awesome. We're on the same wavelength, man. I heard that one too. I think it's a great story. I think it would make a great portrayal, like in an animated cartoon or something. I think it'd be dope. I would love to see that. I think that would be awesome. Because I've kind of played around that idea with Scarecrow and stuff like that a couple of times, but it's never been like his actual reality,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So where are we at? Because we went down this tangent deep, and I don't know where to go now.
Yeah, we did. So,
Mike, save us with another holiday anecdote.
That's right.
So I did not get a whole lot of like video game stuff for Hanukkah growing up. However, the thing that I did get that is gaming related, which I begged and begged and begged for. So I had an Atari. I had an Atari 800. And then we graduated to a 1200 XL later. But when I had my 800, I had the 300 baud acoustic war games modem, where you actually dialed the number for, like CompuServe or whatnot, and you threw it down on the thing. Those things actually did exist for those of you youngins who might have ever seen war games and said, what the hell is that? Yes, those modems actually did exist. And I remember that I would go on to these bulletin board systems and they'd have games. I don't talk about this in public much. I might have downloaded a game or two, but it went so freaking slow because it was 300 baud. I really wanted you ready for this, a 1200 baud modem for Hanukkah. I swear, if I got a 1200 baud modem, I would never ask for another Hanukkah gift for the rest of my life if I just got, because they were like $400. And so I did get it. And man, downloading, like Castle Wolfenstein and other games that Mike Mullis is not my real name, by the way, just in case anybody's listening. I mean, I'd be ready. CB Simulator on CompuServe. Good Lord. I mean, and to watch these things, what was really cool about it at the time was the way Atari downloaded, the way the Atari modem software downloaded stuff from bulletin board systems. And it was like, it showed you the lines of code, right? And so at 300 baud, you'd see this like line, scroll up, line. I got my 1200 baud modem, and it's like, and I'm like, yeah! And so that was one. So those are the things that I ended up getting. I didn't really get much in the way of video games. The only other anecdote I have is I remember, for my kids, we get them stuff, but when they in 2013, when the Xbox One came out, it just so happened that year Hanukkah was the earliest. Yeah, it was never easier. And Zombie, I'm going to say something that probably only you and maybe one or two other people listening to this are going to know what I'm talking about. An Atari 1050 with a happy mod. And I guarantee if you know your Atari, you know exactly what I just said.
Yeah, that one went by me too, because I dipped my toe into Atari, but I didn't go that deep into Atari.
Everything Atari did had a number to it, so all the accessories.
Yeah, I knew that they had the 400, the 800,
the 800, the 1200 XL. Yeah. But even the accessories.
And then they had the XTs and ST models and stuff like that.
Right, but even like the disk drives and stuff, like every accessory they made had a number on it. So even like the RS-232 module, which was like this round box, that's what I plugged my modem into, had a number on it. But yep, Zombie knows exactly what a 1050 happy is. We were also the generation that had that took a hole punch to double side our discs because they were 5 1/4-inch floppies. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember using a hole punch. I mean,
I used a hole punch. Yep.
Why did you use a hole punch? Why are you?
Because they were single-sided discs.
Yeah.
And you took a hole punch, and so you had the notch on one side of the disc. You hole punched an exact notch on the other side of the disc so that you could turn the disc over and use the other side. That's how you made them. That's how you made them double-sided.
Interesting. So you basically had almost like a meg of space on there, because I think they were like 512K on a 5.5.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know 3.5-inch floppies were more.
Mod.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Nice.
So anyhow, so in 2013 was the year the Xbox One released, and I got it, and I had pre-ordered it, and Hanukkah was the earliest it will probably ever be. It's the earliest it'll ever be in many, many years. It's gonna be like another, I think it was something like 7,500 years before it's ever as early as it was now. It was the night Hanukkah started the night before Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving Eve. And I remember I had it all wrapped. Kids were gonna open it. I work at IT, and I had this emergency crap that happened to a client where they lost their entire mail database. And turns out they screwed their backup systems up. So I thought these people lost all their email. And I'm working that night downstairs, freaked out because I'm about to have to tell this client that they lost all their email. And the kids are upstairs. You know, I would walk upstairs, come back down, walk upstairs, come back down. I did not get a chance. We didn't get a chance to really enjoy for half the night. And then at like 8:30, I tried something that worked and recovered all of their email database. So at like 8:30 at night, the kids, I'm like, you guys aren't going to bed. We're hooking this thing up. They're hooked up, played the Xbox One until like midnight. My wife is like, the kids got to go to bed. I'm like, not tonight. You have to go to school tomorrow. So we, it was like a nightmare scenario, but it was like a perfect storm of what could go wrong. But yet it was so nice because we ended up with an Xbox One.
See, most of my stories are just related to like non-gaming stuff. I remember asking for Mega Man one year, and I got like a totally random game for that because my mom was never really good at like getting games. It was like, it wasn't like Zaxxon, but it was like some sort of like cyber mech game on NES that started with like what?
Cybernoid?
I think it started with a Z. I don't know. Zervius or something like that.
Xevious?
Xevious.
Xevious was like a really primitive top-down shooter.
Yeah, yes. I think that was it.
Maybe
I think that's what I got. And I don't know how she got those two confused. I don't know. Mom was, like I said, they got me some cool stuff for Christmas. Like I got Fortress Maximus for Christmas one year, and that was like the coolest thing ever. I promptly half pinched most of my fingers off trying to transform that thing. Oh my god, that thing is painful to transform because it's stiff. She wrapped up two 25-pound weights in a single box. I still have no idea how she wrapped that to this day. Because we tried picking it up, the whole box almost broke trying to pick it up, so we just slid it across the floor so we could open it.
Now, one year, when I was, I think, 19, I lived in Texas for a little bit. I went to high school in Texas, and then after I graduated, I stayed there for another like 4 or 5 years. And my parents came back to California, and there was 1 year for Christmas. I was planning on coming back to California for the holidays, and it was in Austin. It was like one of their ice storms. So like the airport just like froze over. All the flights got canceled and delayed. It was just like it was like Die Hard 2. I mean, that's how bad it was at the airport. So I was supposed to leave, but I couldn't fly off for some reason.
I love how we're actually managing to wrap everything back to either Batman or Die Hard tonight, by the way.
It's just going to be an ongoing thing. And so I came back to my apartment. I had 3 roommates, and it was one of those magical years where everyone went off to the various parts of the country to go back to their family's house. I was alone in this apartment, and I was doomed to be alone in this apartment for a week if I didn't leave to California to go visit my parents. And so while my parents were on the phone trying to get me on a flight somehow out that day, it was also one of those that we didn't have a cell phone, so I just stayed by the house phone, which was in the living room, and there was only one thing to do in the living room was to play my roommate's N64, and that is the only time I've ever really played Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Was while I was waiting for the word from my parents that I was now okay to go back to the airport to get on a plane, and for some reason that has made Ocarina of Time a Christmas game for me too. I actually, it was a horrible, stressful moment, but I quite enjoyed what I played of the game. So I think I actually got out into Hyrule Field. So I think that's how long I was sitting there waiting to hear word back that I was okay to go back to the airport.
I think I actually got Ocarina of Time for Christmas as well. I remember loving that game as a kid, but I don't go back and look at it as fondly as I do other Zelda games. Like, when I think of, like, my favorite Zelda games, I still go back to, like, Link to the Past and the original Zelda. Not so much Link's Adventure, just because I thought that one was a little too hard and a little bit in the vein of the others as much. I've grown to respect it more, but I don't love it like I do the others, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to find this game on the side because I know it's driving Zombie crazy. So I'm trying to find, just going through box art of like NES games, trying to jog my memory as to what the hell this game was.
Do you know what?
It's not working.
What type of game was it?
I just remember it had like a bluish red box. It had like a blue and a red grid on it. And then there was a picture inside on the front of it that looked like it had a mech. And I cannot for the life of me remember the name of this game.
Well, you're describing a Capcom box.
Yeah.
Like the old style.
You know, let me look for just Capcom games. Maybe I can find it by that. I know it's not.
I think about
Magnum Kingdom.
what? With
I don't know. My memory could just be absolutely abysmal on this.
Yeah.
Totally
It was actually Castlevania.
Oh God, no! No, I don't remember Castlevania. I remember playing Castlevania
mech.
quite a lot, actually. And
That's actually one
enjoying
of my
it
other
to the point
Christmas
that we never
games.
beat it.
It's Castlevania.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great game to get.
Well, I'll just while you're looking that up. So
I'm still
started playing
scanning
this,
while we're talking. That's why
I actually started playing this right around Christmas time. That's when I decided that I was going to beat Castlevania. I was like, probably 30. I mean, I was pretty late to the game on this one, and I ended up loving it so much that when my sister asked me what I wanted for Christmas, I said, complete in box Castlevania. She got it for me. So nice. That's what this is a Christmas gift I got from my sister. And I believe the first time I actually beat the game was on Christmas Eve. So
was it this one, Nick?
Not Halloween for me. Christmas game.
Nice. Wow. Is there Christmas anywhere in there?
No.
That's it. Christmas. Section Z. That's it. That's it exactly.
Oh, sections. Duh.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. Section Z.
You needed the Sega Genesis guy to show you what NES game you were thinking of. Jeez.
Dude, that game was so memorable that I.
Well, yeah, it looks like it.
It was not a very great game. Matter of fact, I think I just scrolled past that one. I was looking up Capcom games. I did not catch that one. Dang it. That bugs me. But yeah, it was Section Z. Oh, I remember why, because it's got completely different box art on Wikipedia. It's the wrong box art.
Yeah, because the actual box art, at least in the US, is the classic style blue and red grid.
Matter of fact, I'll pull this over here, and I'm sure everybody knows what the box art is, but I'll show it anyway. That's what I got in place of Mega Man. Now, how? I have no idea.
I don't know how she misread that, but I mean, I
have no idea, dude.
See a parent
it was a Capcom game at least.
Looking at the box, saying, "That looks
What's
like
up,
a Mega
Potion?
Man."
Good to see you, man.
Hey, Potion.
And yeah, Zombies at Section Z too. So I think he found it like just before you found it, and I'm like, okay, because I was just totally distracted trying to find it over here. My bad, guys. Wow, Heaps! Holy crap! Good morning, man.
Heaps of games.
I did not expect to see you over here tonight, man. Holy crap! What time is it? Heaps is in Ireland, by the way. That's why I'm like, holy crap.
Wow, that's awesome. See, I love when you get an international crowd.
Yeah, I met Heaps not that long ago. I'd been seeing him on Twitter for a little while ago, so I've been trying to pop into
Zombie a
streams
little
and
bit,
hang
yeah,
out.
doesn't it?
He's a really cool guy. Has a swear count on his stream. It's like it's a fun time. If you can catch one of his streams, I do recommend you guys catch them. Usually they're a little earlier in the afternoon, at least if you're in Mountain States, because it's evening his time. So adjust your watching schedule accordingly. 5 a.m. God, I hate being up at 5 a.m. I don't like being up at 5 a.m. Whether or not I stayed up till that late or I woke up at that time. I'm not a fan of 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It is awesome to see you here, by the way, Heaps. I'm glad you could pop in, even if it's just for a little bit, man. We've just been kind of like randomly talking. What is this? Zombie, elaborate. What the heck? Maybe he's
Poor
just
middle-aged and nauseating-looking Mega Man.
You know what? The box art for the original Mega Man often made me wonder how that game ever got a sequel, because it looked nothing like the game, and it was like some of the worst box art ever.
Well, fair, but I don't know that the box art for Mega Man 2 was really any better. It's a slightly better looking Mega Man on the cover of Mega Man 2, but I honestly would challenge that the box art for Mega Man 1 had a little bit more to do with what was going on in the game than Mega Man 2's box art. Like you had Dr. Light in the background looking like he's a bad guy behind I guess supposed to be Quick Man, and he's got a gun still, Mega Man. So
thank you, Heaps.
Mega Man box arts didn't really get passable in the US anyway until like maybe Mega Man 3.
Yeah, I was about to say 3's box art was pretty solid, and from then on, I think the box art was pretty good. The X series always had amazing box art.
Mm-hmm. They all look the same.
Well, at least they look somewhat like what you're playing.
They actually look like the character, though. That's the that's the main thing. And of course, in Japan, we didn't do anime in the States back then, or anything that looked remotely like a Japanese artwork. But the Famicom cover arts for the Mega Man games were all perfect. They all looked. There was actually the artwork from Inafune.
Morning,
that one, Zombie.
Hey, Mockingjay.
like, how did you get that from the game? I've heard that the guy who did the
wait. Okay, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, you got they kind of reused this a little bit for Mega Man 9 also. They were trying to capitalize on the nostalgia for the bad box arts. But I've heard that the
I think I found it. Hang on. That one? That's Mega Man 2 though, but that looks like a bowling pin to me.
Mm-hmm.
That is
I think that they did a mock-up cover art for Mega Man 9 where it looks an awful lot like that. No, it's Mega Man 10, because I remember there was like this really scary looking sheep man in the background.
Yeah, this is the one that I remember of Mega Man 2, and the gun in his hand makes no sense.
And see, like,
but at least the guys look a little bit
like
more like
Dr. Light in the background, looking evil. That's not how it would happen. I guess it looks a little bit more like the game than Mega Man 1. But I've heard that the artist who did the artwork for Mega Man 1, the elements were basically described to him. He never actually saw the game. So if that's the truth, then he did actually all right.
This looks like something out of Tron, though, dude. It doesn't look like.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at Wily's castle in the background. That's kind of the way. That's kind of the way. You never actually saw Wily's castle in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
They actually did, except for the palm trees. They actually did kind of get the structure of the castle with that floating bridge work. So
that's what they're designed to do. Night Phoenix, thank you for hanging out, dude.
Night Phoenix.
Night Phoenix. But yeah, far be it from me to defend Mega Man 1's box art. But you should look up the the bad box art for Mega Man 10, because I could have sworn they actually reused some elements for the.
Okay, hang on. Let me see what I can find here.
Yeah, for the sake of Christmas, look that up, or holidays. Sorry.
Oh, I can't find a good sizable picture of this. I'm just gonna have to because it's on Xbox Live Arcade, and yeah, this is kind of bad. It's not the worst, but there's a couple of them, and none of them are good. Let's just put it that way. None
You
of these are
described all of
good.
the Mega Man box arts right there.
I wonder how this series survived. If this series had come out like today and you'd done box art like this, I don't think it would have gone anywhere. I just don't think it. I don't think it would have survived. Hold on, let me pull this up and see if I can just zoom in on it because it's a really small image. I pull up the image, especially. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's going to look kind of pixelated because it was a very small picture. But there's Mega Man 10's box art. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, because there's a different one that actually has Sheep Man in the background, and he looks like some kind of goat demon. There must be very, very.
Did you say
I love
goat
that
demon?
description. Yeah, he said goat demon.
And so now you actually have to see it so you can.
Now I have to find it.
Yeah.
Now I'm on a mission. You guys amuse people. I am on a mission to find.
Mike, why don't you tell them where your storage real quick? We gotta
I
find
think I might have found it here. Maybe I found it. Hold on.
I don't have any more stories. My childhood was. I don't. I mean, unfortunately, that's the extent of my great family stories.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Oh.
Damn it. I'm
Sorry,
playing
man.
find that picture now. I think I'm gonna have to send you on a mission to find this picture because I don't.
I
want to
find a.
This
I want to find a mashup of Mega Man and Evil Dead. Just have it's Mega Man with Mega Man
here it is,
with
right here.
Well, I mean, you could do Dead Rising. I mean, you could get the full Mega Man outfit, including with a working Mega Buster.
No, I mean Mega Man with the chainsaw on his hand instead of the gun.
See,
Here
that
you go,
one,
there,
that
Nick.
one I found, Zombie.
All right, I just posted it in the.
There we go.
thing.
Okay. All right, go on.
And so,
Oh, that is the one that. Okay.
oh
That's
yeah,
the
you
one,
said
that's
like
the one that
a
Zombie's
zoom
talking
in.
about. That's absolutely the one that Zombie's talking about. I didn't think that was the one you were talking about for sure.
Yeah, see,
I mean, that looks like either Tron or Star Wars.
and like a robot goat demon. That's supposed to be Sheep Man.
Robot.
What, that?
Yeah,
Is that Goat Man?
that was supposed to be Sheep Man.
Sheep Man? Oh, that's right. They had a freaking robot that looked like a sheep. They really did, quite literally jump the shark in that game.
And he was electric, of course. There must be some logic to that, though. Is there some kind of connection between wool and electricity? Because
Only if you shuffle your feet enough on the floor.
is it? Because the cheap characters in Pokemon are electric also, so there's got to be something to it.
Yeah, Zombie found it too. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, now we're going to go down the route of Goat Simulator, which I've not played, but looks crazy every time I see somebody play.
Yeah, Goat Simulator is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not supposed to be taken seriously.
No.
No?
It's not really a. Well, I don't know.
Is that it? Just static electricity?
I think that's pretty much the only link there. I think they were really reaching.
But they went with it, though. I mean, they
Yeah, no, they leaned into it. They totally leaned into it. But then, I mean, this is not a series known for creative names. I mean, Cutman. Really? I mean, he threw scissors at you, for Pete's sake.
I'm Cutman!
Great weapon when you got your hands on it, but I mean, a lot of the Rogues Gallery and Mega Man honestly reminds me of a lot of the really lame bosses from the Flash, like Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold and Captain whatever. There were a lot of captains.
It sounds like there are a lot of captains.
He was always really reaching.
Hey, well, it's not.
Static
Like I
Shock
said, it's
works
not just
better.
Mega Man. It's other stuff too. So I figured there's got to be hopefully more to it than just static electricity, but maybe
I don't think so. I mean, if you're looking for something that was really reaching, I mean, just go look at He-Man for like 2 seconds. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah.
They were hammered in just coming up with names.
Yeah, it just seems like the Japanese put more thought into that kind of stuff than we Americans do. So there must be some kind of spiritual connection between sheep and lightning, maybe.
I don't know. That again more of like a.
I'm reaching there, so
yeah, just a little. Just a little.
It's just a little.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
That's kind of great.
Ryan said we never got the crossover Goat Simulator versus Train Simulator.
They jumped the shark and gave us Duff McWallen. Okay, I gotta look at Duff McWallen now. That's an epic name.
In Mega Man X5, when they localized it here in the States, there was like some weird running joke where I think a few of the music tracks from like X3.
This looks like something out of The Tick.
In X3, one of the music tracks sounds like Guns N' Roses' My Michelle. And then in the X4, there is a character named Slash Beast. So they made this weird connection that the Mega Man X series must be related to Guns N' Roses. So for the US release of Mega Man X5, they changed all the characters' names to be puns on Guns N' Roses band members. And it's a dumb joke. And I'm Mazin already knows what I'm talking about, but it was Duff McWhalen, it was Squid Adler, it was Axel the Red.
Dude, this design's epic though. I gotta give
that's a Mega Man X character. That's it.
I mean, that run animation looks like something straight up out of The Tick, where the whale came up out of the ocean and ran across the entire United States. You guys not remember that episode?
I don't remember that episode of The Tick.
Oh, it was an amazing episode. And then it gets to like some creepy fan art with like the really long legs and stuff. We're not going there. But did he have a pet killer whale? That looks like a pet killer whale. What is this? I need to know.
What is that?
I'm gonna download this image and like blow it up because that needs to be seen.
Definitely. I mean,
that looks like a pet.
That's not from the game.
Oh, that looks like the hell is that thing? It's like an anime character. Shit. I feel like I've seen that.
It was like her husband that I think named all the characters, and it was like an inside joke in Capcom USA that I don't know if Capcom Japan really had much to do with or were even aware of.
Eventually, I may make it to X5. I'm about ready to break controllers on X2. Oh my god.
Yeah, we know.
X2 just destroying me right now.
Yeah. Well, why don't you try reading the chat every now and then? You might get some tips that might help you.
I have been trying to read the chat. I just can't execute anything you guys are asking me to do.
Or believe the way. Jump up the wall. Are you crazy? No. Oh, yeah.
It's because you're crazy.
Okay.
Because you're crazy.
Because you're crazy. Because you just
crazy.
You're crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, by the way, Mazin, obviously Mazin was overshadowed by Zombie, but Mazin also had a pretty good feat today. He did 3 back-to-back NDRs. He did Mickey Mouse page just to kind of warm up, and then he did Fantasia on the Sega Genesis.
I never even heard of that.
He did this live, by the way, and then Jewel Master on the Sega Genesis. So that was a fun stream that we had before we started our show. So bravo to Mazin.
I did not even see that he was streaming before that. Maybe I was just sucked into like Halo Infinite. I wasn't looking at YouTube. Damn it.
I just so happened to catch it right when he started.
Yeah, I normally try to keep an eye out for people's streams, like especially during the day or like right as I get done with stuff.
But he's the only one I know of who has finished Fantasia, let alone without dying. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
The game is not impressive.
I've not seen Fantasia, but
it looks okay.
But I'll be honest, that era, like the early 90s, late 80s, is one that I kind of feel bad that I missed a lot of those games. I was talking to Zombie about this on his stream. Like, they were just knocking out really good games, like left and right. And I feel like they were kind of like undersold. Mostly just because, like, nobody was thinking that they were going to like put any effort into a game based off, like, a Saturday morning cartoon, right? Like, nobody was really expecting anything great out of, like, Chip and Dale. Nobody was expecting anything good out of DuckTales, and both of those are good games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of like Mickey games and Magical Quest games and stuff like that have great reviews that I feel like barely anybody gave any attention to just because they were Disney.
Well, I think the key is a lot of those
that would have been dope.
Really great developers that went on to do great things and had great illustrious careers. They all started somewhere. They all had to take certain contracts to pay the bills, like WayForward. WayForward actually has a lot of really good, mainly the Shantae games, but they have a lot of good original type games. But then they'll also take jobs just to keep the lights on, like Wendy Every Which Way, or Thor on the DS, which is actually a decent game. But it was the same way with Capcom. I'm sure that was honestly like a great score for them to get the Disney contract. But it's like all those games, those were hungry developers too that they wanted to make original games like Mega Man, but they were guaranteed to sell a DuckTales game. Mega Man might not sell. It's an original IP, kind of risky. So it's obviously shitty developers got those licenses too, as we saw with like the X-Men series. But
I'm gonna have to start looking for Mazin's stream earlier in the day then, because he's deliberately streaming earlier in the day so he can catch the show.
He said he
need to make sure I catch his
Omega
earlier.
Usually streams today. And by the way, it's Omega Ace Gaming's birthday today.
Is it?
That's why he's not.
Oh, fantastic! Happy birthday, Ace Gaming. I need to catch more of his stuff too, because a lot of times I don't see his stuff during the day for whatever reason.
He
I check for
really early
today.
You and I are still at work when he streams, so sometimes I like at the office I'll put like headphones in so I can listen to him stream. But he usually he streams at like maybe 1 o'clock my time, so that's like 3 o'clock your time, I think, or maybe 2.
Well, 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm normally looking for like people to like check out streams and stuff like that. Now this afternoon I was busy on a call, so that might have been why I missed it. But I try to look for Omega streams anytime he's up. And I hate that I don't catch many of his streams. It's like once every blue moon I find one.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me during the day because I'm in so many meetings.
That's the best time it is for him, man. Because I think it's like later in the evening for him, or it's just the best time before in between work.
Yeah.
And stuff for him. So that's usually when he streams.
Yeah, Zombie. I was Zombie's comment about Mousecapade. I was telling Mazin that when I was a kid, Mickey Mousecapade was what I thought of as the worst game on the NES. I rented that game one time and I absolutely hated it. And at that time, I had very little frame of reference, so I'm sure that it probably holds up a little better than I thought it did. But that's what I'm sticking with, is that it's not a very exciting game. So I guess boring is probably the politest way to describe it.
What, Fantasia?
Mickey Mousecapade.
Oh, Mickey Mousecapade. Oh, yep. There we go. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, see, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, you guys keep talking about Barbie and the No Death-a-Run and how miserable that is. I don't understand the fixation you guys have with Barbie. I'm going to be honest. Even having watched it in stream multiple times, I don't get it.
It's a running joke in the community, I think.
Like Mousecapade, maybe, because the funny thing is like so many of you guys have gone through like all the great ones on the NES that now you're just like picking through everything else in the library. Whereas I barely touched like half the good stuff on there. By the way, this week I am planning on putting up a list for the Can I Learn series, because I want to get that back on track, and the holidays and everything have kind of like kicked it backwards constantly. right now I have like 3 options, I think, that I'm putting on there. I want to find like 2 from the Genesis, so I'm open for like recommendations of ones there that I haven't done yet. I'm not doing sports games because I don't see the point. And I don't really want to do RPGs because that's kind of an inevitability that you're going to finish it, and it's too long for the series. So something a bit more in line that you can do that's why it's kind of hard to find. But for the NES, I think I have TMNT, Bionic Commando, and Batman up on the list right now. And I'm going to put it on the community tab so people can vote. But I'm looking for suggestions for stuff on the Genesis because I want to get some Genesis content on the channel too. Because I feel like I don't give that system enough love because I keep finding ones from the NES that was like the first console I really truly fell in love with that I never finished that I want to go back and finish. And I don't remember as much of my Genesis library. I know there's the Valor series. Kid Chameleon's not a bad recommendation. I never got as into Kid Chameleon, but I do have that one. And that one is interesting. That one's tough, is my understanding. Really tough. I thought about
Castlevania Bloodlines.
Castlevania Bloodlines. That's another option. I thought about putting Quackshot on there. Not that it's hard, just I'd like to finish it one day. I think it's a neat game. And it's challenging in its own way. I wouldn't call it easy by any means. Just not as hard as like Bloodlines or Hard Corps or any of those, right?
I got one for you. You're not the Ooze. I don't know if that game is beatable, but it'd be pretty impressive if you did. Rocket Knight Adventurous.
Rocket Knight.
Rocket Knight is fun. I do like Rocket Knight, and I thought about putting that on there. The Ooze. I've never even heard of this game.
It's fine. It's a very high concept. It's a very high concept game with not a whole lot of gameplay attached to it. I think they were just loved their slime effects, and that was kind of where they took the game. The Ooze.
It's called the Ooze.
Oh, the Ooze.
I think it's a very difficult game. So
that was on a Genesis, wasn't it?
Yeah. Power Glove.
Who made that? That was made.
Yeah, I don't really like the idea of Dark Castle. I didn't like the concept of Dark Castle. I thought about the Immortal, but I don't like the Immortal either. That thing's just kind of too random, and I'd end up looking up a guide for like 90% of it just to get through it. And I think
plus I already recommended that game to Mazin, so you guys got to split up.
Unless Sonic CD, I don't know if I have that one running right now. I don't have the hatred for Sonic CD that John has.
Yeah, I don't.
Everybody said that about Comic Zone too, and I managed to get through Comic Zone. I'll get through these games, just certain things about some of them. And I got a couple of levels into Rocket Knight. Then I just couldn't really push any further on it. I kept getting stumped.
Or Shadow Dancer.
Yeah, Shadow Dancer was another one I thought about too. I heard that one was like significantly better than Revenge of Shinobi from most people, with the exception of Alpha Nerd, who thinks Shadow Dancer's technically a better game, but enjoys Revenge of Shinobi better.
I mean I could go either way.
But I want to start mixing like a couple of different consoles in there, and I don't want it to just be all Nintendo. Because Genesis deserves some love, because there's a good solid library there, even though there's not as much that I gravitate to as I do like the SNES and NES library. They're still solid. God, dude, Chacon, I've tried that game multiple times, and I cannot figure that game out, dude. Like it won the combat. The combat's pretty hard. And two, that game is confusing as hell. It's very confusing.
I love how he jumps, though. I love his spinning jump.
Yeah, he's got a great jump, and you can move the swords in like 8 angles by pressing the attack button and moving them, and you can kill people that way. And
see, I looked at that game and I just
really cool concepts. The Game Gear one I loved, but the Genesis one I struggled with a lot.
It was tough. There's no doubt about it. That was a tough game.
Or Ghouls and Ghosts. There's another one. A lot more manageable than Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. So it's probably still be very frustrating, but probably more rewarding.
I'm not as worried about frustrating. I mean, eventually I'll kind of like beat my head through it. through repetition on it, trying to do those things on stream. Like Mega Man X2, I just don't like the design. Like most of the stages just aren't fun. Like I'm trying to go through it to kind of beat it, but I don't think I'll go back and play X2 again. Right?
Yeah,
I
that's
just don't enjoy it that much.
I definitely recommend skipping a lot of the other games in the series because a lot of people love the X series, but I think it has a lot more flawed games than good games in that series. So
yeah, like most of the weapons in X2 I find are kind of eh.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the ones in X1 were amazing, but we should wrap up here pretty soon. X-Men is another one that I don't figure out. Like I get lost in that game. Like X-Men and X-Men 2. I love the look of those games and they play great. But I think there's a part in there where you have to actually reset the console, and I don't know how to do that on an emulator. Like there's a boss in there. I think you have to literally reset the console on one of those.
I don't know if I remember that.
I think I remember seeing it on like a playthrough. Oh, I'm sure you guys can tear through X2. This isn't I never do these streams for like a competition. I just do it because you guys like watching the streams of these games, and two, it's nice to finally beat some of these games. So, and it's fun to do it on stream, particularly since most of the time you guys are coaching me through it, which makes it a little less painful. But I meant to spend like some time this week, and I didn't get to it, going through and trying to find some of the heart extenders and sub tanks, because that's really, once you can get those, I find most of the X series starts to open up a little bit, because
in X2 a lot of those items are very frustrating to get.
I've noticed. I've noticed to an extent that, and even a lot of the armor upgrades, they're in really, really nasty places to get to where it's just like they wanted you to go through the game with like no power ups for some reason. I don't know why, because it's not a fun way to do the X series at all, particularly in my opinion. I mean, you can, but oh no! I'm not taking any offense to anything, Mazen. No, I totally get that, dude. It just, I'm gonna be struggling with that one for a while. I'll be honest. So if you want to blaze through it, you may want to blaze through it with my blessing, sir. Yeah, when you defeat Mojo, you have to reset the console and go back and to get back to the danger room. Yeah, I remember that being a thing, and I think I know how to do that, but that's kind of weird that you have to do it. And I'm not sure if it'll work on an emulator or not. It might. I don't know. I'd be annoyed to get that far and then have to do that and then not be able to get anywhere. It would suck. I don't know. I may try it anyway. I'll come up with a couple of those out of the suggestions and put them on there. Yeah, Maximum Carnage is another good one too. But I'll finish up that list. I'll get that out today because I kind of want to start doing that series again. I think it's a fun series. You guys seem to enjoy it. I enjoy doing it because it gives me some time to kind of sit there with those, and I'll just let people vote on the next one. So that way you guys kind of know what's coming up and work the series from there. But I'm going to wrap this up because Mike is falling asleep.
Yeah.
I need to spend some time with my
It's
wife.
like midnight.
It's midnight his time. It's after midnight his time. So
12:19.
Yes. So any last words, Mike?
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Absolutely.
holidays.
We will catch you guys before the new year. We have time to be able to do one more of these this year, and
Oh,
if
that's
everybody's
true.
amenable,
Yeah.
we will do another one where we can check in on how Christmas went and talk about the new year and stuff like that and what we have going on. Rob, what you got? What does everybody have going on their channel? Mike, do you have anything going on? We know NLG's every Thursday.
Yep.
Do you have anything else coming up, like a Stinger Spotlight or anything?
Yeah, if this damn video games monthly video would finish rendering, that'll go up tomorrow. The latest adventure of Seth and myself. And I don't know, I haven't been as motivated to make videos because I've been doing a lot more streaming. So that seems to be much more fun to me than trying to create videos that no one watches.
I enjoy them both, but it is definitely a struggle to try to juggle both.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Rob, what you got?
I'm still working on a video, so it's not going to be out anytime soon.
Well, I have one coming out on Wednesday. This is going to be, like I had mentioned alluded to a little bit before. This is a new series that I'm doing based on like various different game mechanics. Just kind of discussing them, how they're used, absences when they're overused, that kind of thing. How that makes the player kind of like react to them in different ways, and how, in theory, just kind of do food for thought of, different ways you might want to see them used and implemented in different games. What you think, would be interesting to have if it did this in this game or did this in this game. How would you work around that? And just kind of like a thought experiment on like various different like game theory designs and stuff like that. How to fix the end product and why people might want to do that. So I'm hoping it's something that you guys enjoy. First one's just going to be on a very simple mechanic of jumping. So
Which already
that should
had.
be, huh?
Yeah, I can't wait to see these.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. I finally got the thumbnail today done. I think it's pretty solid. So I'm hoping the series will be good. I'm hoping you guys will like it. I'll probably end up just making it kind of like an ongoing series, because I might be able to do these once a week or once every other week, and then kind of work in like the longer ones and other things. That way I can do like, I would like to get in a habit of having like a couple of these a month, and then having at least one like video game history thing a month. I think doing more than one video game history becomes like, those take several weeks to do, just to get everything kind of put together, get it organized, get it down, and then get it all recorded. So trying to do multiple of those in a month is just, I feel like I'm not going to do it right if I do it that way. So I need to give it more time. But these are a little bit easier for me to kind of go through, I feel like, and kind of, because I can do a lot of it just kind of like off my memories and then look up a couple things here and there. And it doesn't have to be like exactly this date and then this happened and this date and this happened kind of thing. I can kind of play with it a little bit more, which makes it a little bit easier to write up and then start getting recorded. So hopefully that'll be a fun thing. But I'm going to call here unless anybody else has anything else that they want to go into, and we will give people the remainder of their evening back.
I would just say happy holidays, everyone. I think Hanukkah's over, so I just Merry Christmas. I
That's
think
okay.
what we're left with. And I'm glad we got to do at least one, because I was looking forward to doing just like just rapping about our holiday memories. So I'm glad we got one out. So
yeah,
I had a good time on this stream. I mean, I've got a lot of holiday memories that are funny to me on things that my mom did, but they're kind of, when I tell them, they're funny to me still, but they're probably like a you had to be there kind of moment.
a lot more Batman in this conversation than I thought there was going to be, but
I know, right? I was okay with that, for the record, but happy holidays, everybody. Belated and happy Hanukkah to everybody Jewish.
And just remember, Captain Hanukkah.
Yeah, and
thank you for that story. I don't think
have a wonderful Kwanzaa.
Welcome.
I don't know when is Kwanzaa. Like, how long does Kwanzaa run for? I think it's like a multiple day event thing too, right?
I'm not gonna lie and say I know.
I don't know. I meant to look it up before I got on here. I wasn't sure if anybody celebrated Kwanzaa in chat, but I still didn't want to exclude it either, because you never know what people are into, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just be all inclusive, because it's kind of what I want this channel to kind of be, is just inclusive and respectful to people. So, all right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Amy.
Play on, gamers.